Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are on the Bahnstrecke Bremen to Oldenburg route. We are at Oldenburg Hauptbahnhof and we're taking this expert DBBR 101 with intercity coaches from down to Bremen Hauptbahnhof. This is an add-on by Train Sim Germany. And also, the Expert 101 add-on comes with a Expert 101 timetable for this route. We are also running the live weather mod by Winzarten that is PC only. There's a link for it down in the description, and it just got updated, so that's quite good. Anyway, let's get started. I should probably check to see how long our train is first. 230 meters. Okay, so. Verse in, doors unlocked. Let's just go to here first. Faults off because I don't really like having them, if I'm being honest. Virtual conductor is running. Let's go here. Let's also get the electric train supply on. Boom. Cab lights, headlights, train lights. Let's go to this back panel, headlights on, and put in 918, length is 230, maximum allowed speed is 200 kilometers an hour. There we go, that's been input. PZB is active. Oh, I should have unlocked the brakes. Oops. Should have done that a bit earlier. It's been a bit since I've driven this thing. It is by far my favorite German train in this game. No, I need... Yeah. What on earth does that mean? It says we've got a fault, but I don't know what that fault is. Hang on. Do we have a popped circuit breaker besides this one? That's always popped. The auxiliary compressor breaker's always popped. Does all read start? I think we're good to go. I don't know why it's saying we have a fault, but... How do I fix it? I have no idea what that means since... Yeah. Oh, we're actually clear up to 40. Release the brakes, and we're off. Next stop, Delmenhorst in 30 kilometers. Zoom the map out. So yeah, we've got... Our service is Intercity 1933, Oldenburg Hauptbahnhof to Leipzig Hauptbahnhof. We have stops at Delmenhorst at 12:47 and Bremen Hauptbahnhof at 1300 hours precisely. Oh, that's a bit too zoomed out. There's a couple of 185s chilling off over there. We've got some freight cars over here. And usually there's a shunter. Yeah, there is. It's a 363 off of Nahverker Dresden. Sometimes it's a Vossloh G6. The Vossloh G6 also substitutes into the timetable. Yeah. This is a pretty simple route in the 101. Also, we've got an intercity Sturwagen on the back. The 101 normally does Oldenburg to Bremen, while the Oldenburg to Bremen runs, while the Sturwagen does Bremen to Oldenburg. They use the drawbridge. This 101 is so in-depth. Like, honestly, I haven't put the train number in because I don't know how to do that, and I've turned the faults off because I don't want to deal with them, but this train is far more in-depth than I usually use it for. Usually just let the train do all the work with the AFB running. We're clear up to 120, so train's building up kilonewtons, and we're underway. Oh boy. We are getting wheel slip. That's presumably because the live weather is putting that in because of high humidity. High humidity equals more track wetness. See what I mean? How cool is that? Come on, buddy. Easy does it. It will take longer to accelerate and decelerate, which is annoying. Our speed is fluctuating wildly as the train Okay, I'll put it down to 50% throttle. Oldenburg to Bremen has to be one of the easiest routes to drive the 101 on, because it's mostly flat, hardly any speed limit changes, and it's pretty short. But don't worry, we will be doing some more routes in the 101 in the near future. Well, near-ish future. Alright. That's 120 kilometers an hour. We're close enough. There's the 160 sign. There's the 160, so let's go. Try a bit more. Let's try like 60%. Yeah, it's a slightly foggy, overcast day in Bremen today. In the Bremen region, I should say. Whoa, okay. Wild speed fluctuations. Again, if I put this... Alright, that's... Yeah. And what's even better about the Expert 101 is it just keeps getting updated. We got the Einzigandes livery. We got the virtual conductor. This train is very good. Like, if you haven't got this already, I can highly recommend it. It's the most by far the most in-depth train this game has ever had, ever. It's certainly got the only one with a full bank of working circuit breakers. Alright, there we go. That tree was pretty close to the track, I must say. I think I had it a bit too zoomed in. Good thing about the God Mode mod is that I can set the view where I want it to be and it'll stay that way. Put the throttle to max just to maintain speed. I'll reduce it if we have to increase or decrease speed. I do definitely prefer the 101 over the Intercity Sturwagen that also comes with the pack, because I don't mind a tap changer on the Sturwagen. It's just a little more fiddly than a smooth throttle, but also there's no AFB in the Sturwagen, so you have to manually control your speed, and over long periods of time that can definitely become quite taxing. Performance is relatively steady. A few stutters here and there, but that's just the core game being the core game. I don't know what that failure was that we had. I reset all the circuit breakers. I don't know what's going on there. Also, dynamic suspension doing wonders. I had a go driving the old Dovetail Games BR101 add-on. That's an add-on for Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. I took it out on Hamburg to Lübeck, and I literally could not finish the service because it was just so bad. It was just so, it's mediocre compared with this. I only keep it installed for layers on Köln to Aachen. Alright, buddy. Let's get slowed down. This thing has some pretty good dynamic brakes. Look at that. Whoa, okay. Sand. Let's get some proper brakes going. Yeah. See how our speed's fluctuating? That's the whatever it is. Can't remember. That's the track wetness really helping out there. It does. I love the live weather mod because it basically replaces the ancient base game dynamic weather that's still broken to this day despite being 3 years old. Here is Hude. There's a branch going off to Nordenham, coming in from Nordenham on our left there. There's a car transporter train off to our left. Presumably waiting for us. And it is what is it? Oh, it's a DB Rail Lion 185. Of course it is. That thing's been reused so often, I'm not surprised. The freight locomotive that you get with this route is actually not what you would expect. It's not a 185, it's actually a BR155 recycled off of Ruhr Nord, but in a bright blue press livery instead of the classic DB red. And that's a pretty cool locomotive. Very cool looking. My goodness, we're having some serious wheel slip here. Get some sand going. We do have a 160 limit kicking in. 11 kilometers to go. Oh boy, I just put it to 170. There we go. There are only a few routes where you can take the... Oh, hello. Only a few routes where you can take the 101 up to her top speed. And those, I would say, are... Why does this say nicht einsteigen? I thought that's like a... Yeah, that looks good. I'll take that. Is that a ECS move? Or is that an actual service? Because if that's an actual... Bremen to Oldenburg, yeah, that's an actual service that has a broken destination display. This route is almost 3 years old as well, so I'm shocked yet not shocked that that hasn't been fixed. I wanted to take a thumbnail picture earlier because with this live weather mod, I don't know if it's going to start raining at any point. And I wouldn't want... Yeah. Here's my favorite... one of my favorite stations on the route. Can't remember the name. Has a cool design to it. Flying along. London Midlands signal visibility mod also doing wonders. Like, those are definitely the top 3 mods I can recommend. Windsarten's live weather mod, London Midlands signal visibility mod, and then Fubian's God mode mod. Like, all 3 of those, like, combined are superb. Like, make the biggest difference in game stuff. The only kind of mod that I've never really tried out are INI engine file mods, which are... I don't really want to go messing about with those because you can get your game seriously broken if you don't know what you're doing. Plus, I want to make my game look as stock as possible, with a few changes, of course. But none as obvious as an INI engine mod. Five kilometers to go. Still flying along at 160, but we do have an 120 limit coming up, so we will have to be careful. And there's a red signal. I'll get us down to 120 now, just so the train can slow down in time. Do have a red signal. That's not good. Wait for signal to change. Of course, it always says that. Who's ahead of us? Ah, it's a BR425 doing the Nordenham to Bremen run. That's a local stopper. That's annoying. Alright. Just slow down to 120 now, because we might as well. With that red signal ahead. Never mind, it's changed to green. Oh well. Speed limit starts fluctuating between 120 and 160. Why? Don't get why that is. That's the 120 warning board. Doesn't matter if we're late, because Deutsche Bahn are literally, from what I've heard from actual German rail fans, it seems as though Deutsche Bahn are pretty much always late. So if we're a minute or two late, then that's bucking the trend, even if we are nominally late. .5 kilometers to go. Let's cut the throttle and coast in. Notch 2 on the brakes. Easy game. Whoa, that's a lot of stutters. I don't know what's going on. Notch 3. Minute and a half until we're supposed to arrive. Oh wow, this thing slows down much faster than I thought. That's the train warning us to keep under 30 kilometers an hour and entering a platform. Ah, there we go. Put the AFB back to 160 because, yeah, we don't need it for now. "20 seconds till we're supposed to arrive." We'll probably actually arrive early. Full service onto the brakes. That's an overshoot. That's my bad. But we still arrived on time. Unlock the doors. AFB will keep the brakes on unless we're moving, so doors can open. We're here for the next 2 minutes, so we might as well... actually no, SIFA will get us, so... Throttle is off, brakes are running. Oh, I can't move the reverser back. Thinking that could... Yeah. I forgot this route had bits of missing overhead catenary. Our train literally is running under its... not under its own power per se, but definitely relying on wireless charging, let's say. That's a... I can think of some other German routes that definitely suffer from that. Hamburg to Lübeck? I don't know. Can't remember. Nahverker Dresden, despite the fact it had its overhead catenary entirely replaced, still has some bits of missing overhead catenary. And then, what else? And then try to think of the other, some other major ones. And then Munich to Augsburg definitely has some issues. Release direct brake. I can just put that in release position. Might as well do a launch. Next and final stop, Bremen Hauptbahnhof in 13 kilometers. Wish I could accelerate a bit quicker, but that's not going to happen with the track wetness. Let's have a look. It's actually decreased a bit. I'll see if I can increase it, because I can monitor all the parameters on the live weather mod. Trouble is, after I hit Alt Tab to get back in the TSW window, it sometimes means I can't press certain keybinds. So if I put it to 100%, does that work? It appears to. Nice. It means you can get it back up to speed quicker. Shush, we're doing fine. There is actually one service with this train, not on Bremen Oldenburg, but on Kassel to Würzburg with the 101 expert gameplay package. Whoa! Okay. Oh my goodness, we were wheel spinning at 30 kilometers an hour faster than usual. Anyway, there's actually one service on Kassel to Würzburg where you have to do a cold and dark start with this thing. And that's I'm pretty sure that's the only timetable service with this thing that that requires you to do a cold and dark start. Can't believe we were wheel spinning 30 kilometers an hour over what we are actually traveling at. That's insane. It is a pretty slow entry into Bremen. It's usually about speed limit in is about 50 to, it goes down to 50 to 40 kilometers an hour, so we will have to slow down quite a bit. This live weather mod is a literal game changer. I don't have to rely on any of the presets anymore, and that's so nice. This is literally what the weather is like, but or close to it, in the Bremen region right now, and I love that. And it even works on routes not set in the current day, like this one. This route's set in 2008, and I can call up the historical weather for 2008, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it on live weather. Like, I want to experience the conditions which this area is actually experiencing in real life right now. And that's so cool. I know I didn't have to sound the horn for that railway crossing, but yeah, let's actually slow down. Actually, no, I'll keep it at 160 for a bit longer. Actually, I probably should slow down, because that signal will almost certainly have a yellow aspect to it, which means that I have to slow down to 80. Blinking green signal down to 120. Then it's down to 60, 50, and 40. Whoa, okay. Yeah, train's having to react to the wheel slipping shenanigans in real time. Okay. Speed has stabilized at 110. Well, marked speed has, anyway. 120 limit has come into force. Blinking green signal again with the 60 warning. Acknowledged. Right, I gotta add some brakes because... Oh, dang it. Because we do have an 85 limit coming in, and that's a hard barrier too. Gotta be very careful. There we go. Shut that off. Oh, now it says it's safe to release. Thanks, game. I'm so glad I don't have Leipzig to Bahnstrecke Leipzig to Dresden, because apparently the Pisa B system on that route is just completely borked. Like, really borked. Like, it doesn't show proper acknowledgements or anything. 60 limit in force, I think. Pretty short run, we're already at Bremen. If I want to do something short in the 101, this is usually the route that I come to, because it's interesting. It covers an entire route, and yet it only takes about half an hour. Crossing the bridge. Alright. We do have a red signal coming into Bremen Hauptbahnhof, so I will have to keep an eye out for that. Getting ready to acknowledge the signal. There we go. Right, we do have a 50, then a 40 limit coming into force in rapid succession. We've got 4.5 minutes, just under 4.5 minutes to get to Bremen. So far, can't English. Another interesting fact, about Bremen to Oldenburg is it is so far the only TSW route which is set in the 2000s decade. There's another 110 with some N-wagons. Nice. There is going to be another that's currently in the pipeline. Stuttgart to Heilbronn, also by Dovetail Games. That'll include the BR-140 locomotive and Wittenberger Sturwagen cab car, both of which are new additions to the game. I don't think I'll get it, but it looks pretty nice. I just want more routes I can run the Expert 101 on. Ooh boy, nearly forgot to acknowledge that. But it's 40. Slow down, buddy. There we go. Come on. Slow down too much. Bremen to Oldenburg on a sale is a decent route. I can't recommend it at full price, but if you are looking into getting this route, you would at least need the Expert 101 in order for the route to be worth it, in my opinion. And Wagen camp car over there. There's some Dostos. And probably a BR146, if anything. Ooh, we're coming in at platform 3. I think. Yes, we're coming in at platform 3. Normally, it's a good platform. Yeah, it's a BR146 on the left. We've also got a BR425 and another 110 with cab car. Oh my goodness, what on earth was happening with the light bakey on that Endwagen coach there? Easy does it. Arriving over almost 2 minutes, minute and a half early, but I'm not gonna, yeah. By Deutsche Bahn standards, I am insane. Full stop. Bit of an overshoot again, but that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Unlock the doors, please. Thank you. Yeah. This is actually the route that introduced the Endwagens and the Endwagen camp car. They've been recycled quite a bit since, but are actually quite decent. Oh. There we go. Time taken 29 minutes, 54 seconds. Distance driven 44 kilometers. Distance walked 27 meters. Platinum medal. Only lost 65 points to speeding. Oh, and I think that was when the train speedo went nuts and shot up to 180 kilometers an hour. So it actually took off points for that. That's annoying. If I hadn't had that little bit of wheel slip, I'd have had a perfect no speeding score. Anyway, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another one of these videos. And I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.